Hello viewers, this is Brandon from TESC, and this is one of our first videos in this series. Today we're going to be discussing RP video technology, RP video surveillance. A lot of installers are currently of the view that RP technology is still 5 years away in South Africa, and we obviously think this is not correct. At the moment, since 1996, millions of channels of RP video surveillance have been installed across the world. It's believed that the growth rate in installations of RP surveillance is actually outstripping the growth rate in new installs of analog CCTV. So let's just look quickly at some of the issues which people debate in this field. One of those issues is that people feel that digital video recorder is far more stable and a better technology than RP. Indeed, we can't deny that compared to VCR systems and the old tape cassette systems, the digital video recorder is a huge improvement. But when we really look at it, the digital video recorder is not the end point of the evolution of CCTV, and in fact it represents an outdated solution in a box technology where you are limited to the features that are built into the box, and there's very little scope to upgrade or improve the system. Another issue which people discuss is the fact that RP cameras supposedly cannot produce an image of the same or better quality than analog cameras. Well, when we look at the way that these cameras are built, and we see that both analog and RP cameras use the same sensor structure, the CCD and the CMOS sensors, to pick up the pictures, then there can't really be much difference between them. But the problem that we have with analog is we are currently limited to 700 TV line cameras, which some profess, with the Sony FEO DSP, whereas when we look at RP cameras, some of the manufacturers are already producing 16 megapixel RP cameras. So if we compare 16 megapixels against 600 TV line, we can see that this argument is not going to hold water, that RP cameras can't produce the same quality of video as analog. A lot of the times people are actually referring to the fact that the RP camera is using a CMOS sensor, which is less light sensitive than the CCD sensors. But things have moved on quite some way from there, and this is not particularly true anymore. Another aspect that people use to speak negatively about RP cameras is that the RP camera costs a lot more than analog camera. Well, this is a fact, but it's actually a meaningless fact, because comparing an RP camera to an analog camera just doesn't make sense. The RP cameras have a lot of features built into them that were previously performed by the digital video recorders in an analog system. So it would be expected that the RP camera is going to be more expensive than the analog camera. A proper comparison when looking at cost of RP cameras versus analog cameras is to look at the total system cost, because the topology and the way that the two systems are put together is totally different. In an RP system you don't have a digital video recorder, for instance. So we need to look at total system cost, and a number of reports and studies have been done which have shown that the RP camera systems actually cost less in terms of total system cost, installation, maintenance over the lifetime of the camera system. One thing that has really held people back from upgrading their systems to RP has been the misconception or the deliberately promoted belief that you have to completely get rid of the investment you have already made in an analog CCTV system, and you should throw away your analog cameras and get a whole new set of RP cameras. Well, the technology today allows us to integrate RP cameras, HD, SDR cameras and analog cameras all together into a single system. It is absolutely not necessary to have to get rid of your previous investment. Another common argument that is used against RP is that if you put RP cameras onto your network, you're going to overload the network, is the basic assumption. This is an argument that's put forward by people who don't really understand the RP protocol or the RP systems that they are hearing about. The average RP camera is transmitting a video stream at about 2 Mbps or megabits per second, whereas the common network equipment found in homes, in residential homes, is running at 100 megabits per second. Now we're seeing 300 megabit per second equipment, and it's not uncommon even to see 1 gigabit equipment. Where an RP system is not properly designed, or where someone attempts to put 500 RP cameras onto a corporate network without considering the impact or not understanding the topology and the way that RP protocol works properly, indeed there might be a problem in that case. But generally, overloading the network by adding RP cameras is going to be something that results from an improper design and improper install from someone who doesn't understand what they're doing. Another issue that is often put forward is that RP is generally insecure, that people can hack into RP systems. Well, if we go right back to the 1960s, RP is actually something that was more or less adopted by the military and regulated by the military precisely because it's a secure technology. We are doing internet banking over the internet, and this is a relatively secure technology. The problem is that when an installer doesn't understand network security and how to make a network secure, then it seems that the technology is insecure to them. If you use an installer of that sort, when he plugs your analog camera system into the internet port or connects it to the internet, that system is basically very insecure. So the issue of security on network systems relates to the fact that the people who are making these statements don't understand how to secure networks. If we do put enough effort into this aspect, and we take the time to try and secure our network, we could make it as secure as what we are using internet banking over the internet today. The next issue relates somewhat to that in terms of security and comes back to reliability. And once again, we have to answer this in exactly the same way. Networks have been adopted by military, by banking, by some really high-profile sectors, precisely because of the security and the reliability that is built into this technology. Those who claim that or mention issues such as the failure of a network and the networks are unstable, once again are unfortunately people who don't understand how to design and install network systems. These are people who haven't heard of issues such as redundancy, RAID technology, self-healing topologies, and so they basically don't understand how to make the system secure. That doesn't mean that the system is not secure and it is not reliable. So in short, to close off our video, that is to me personally a very important aspect for our installers and integrators and customers to face, to get past this myth that RP is 5 years away. Generally RP is right upon us now. It's the technology for surveillance, the technology for the future, and we need to really pay a lot of attention to this aspect. I thank you for listening to this video, and we hope that you will be watching future editions of our video in which we will discuss some hopefully very valuable information. Thank you.